So we're at the Petaluma Raw Potluck, and I'd like to introduce to you Abiba Wright. She is known in the raw food world as the Krazy Cracker Lady. She is known for her famous crunchy, it's all about the crunch, dehydrated raw crackers.
I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and how long I've been doing raw food. I've been doing raw food since 2000. And my binge food of choice before doing raw food were crackers. I love crackers. And Triscuits, Wheat Thins, Ritz, a few other ones, but those were the top few that I ate all the time. So anyway, after learning how to do raw food, or actually eating raw food, I wanted to know how can I make some crackers. And I hadn't seen any crackers anywhere. My mentor, who's Victoria Batanko, I had gone to an intro to raw food at her place, and they had all these dishes on the table, and there was something on the table that looked like a cracker. And I tried it, and that was in March of 2002. And I said, if I can eat this, I will continue with this lifestyle. Because most people, when they start doing raw food, they want to find something that's familiar to them. And if you don't have that, you know, you might say fall off the wagon a little bit. But I decided that if I could learn how to make crackers, I would stay with this lifestyle. So anyway, what I'm going to do for you is what's called my world famous barbecue chip. That's this chip right here. It's very thin, and people always say, Abiba, how do you get these crackers so thin? And the secret to a good cracker, for those of you, I think you guys know because Cecilia just said it, is the crunch. If the cracker doesn't have a crunch, in my opinion, it's just not a cracker. There's a lot of perpetrators out there, but it's not a crazy cracker if it doesn't have the crunch. But anyway, this is what we're going to show you how to do. And how you make chips, you want to do it in the blender. And I prefer the Vitamix blender. Number one, because it really is the Rolls Royce of blenders. And it's the only one I found that's going to blend up a flaxseed really, really smooth. Most other blenders that I've had, I've tried to do it, but it doesn't really break it down. So anyway, we're going to do the barbecue chip in the Vitamix. We're just going to put some water in the Vitamix. And I'm also going to use, there's sun-dried tomatoes in the barbecue chip. And what you want to do is you want to rehydrate them by soaking them in water, and also use the water that's here because it also has some flavor. So we're just going to put that in there too. Okay. And then we're going to use fresh tomatoes, which you see here. Put that in there. And what I like to do generally is have people read from my book. The first book is called Crazy Crackers, Learn the Secret to a Good Cracker. A lot of times people will tell you what they've done for a recipe, but they secretly do something else. So I usually tell people to look in my book and read to make sure that when I'm doing a demo, that I'm not putting in anything that you don't know that wasn't in the original recipe. Okay, then we're going to put in some carrots, and we're going to put in just a few here, and then we're going to put in some celery that has a little bit of sodium. I don't use a lot of salt. You don't have to if you use organic vegetables because it's going to have everything that you need. I'm going to put in some garlic, which I love. And then for the sweet, we have 5 tastes that we use in raw food. There's 4 S's and 1 B. Now, in our studio audience, can we get someone to tell us what those 4 S's are and that 1 B? Lori, I know you know, so tell us what those 4 S's and the B is. Do you remember what that is?
Salty, sour, sweet,
Savory, and then
bitter.
Yay! Give it up for it, Lori. Okay, all right. We have some. It looks like it's secret ingredients in here, doesn't it? But it really isn't. Okay, there we go. We're just going to use those 3 things. Okay, we're going to do some Celtic sea salt. Okay, this is a teaspoon, believe it or not. Then we're going to do some cumin, which is right here, because that's also something that they use in barbecue chips. And then we're going to do a little bit of chili powder. Okay? And then we're going to blend this all up in the Vitamix. And one thing that happens with this particular chip, if the mixture here is too thick, the cracker's going to come out chewy. If it's too thin, it's going to break all up. You don't see any holes in here at all. So you really want to know what the texture is. And if the texture isn't right, you want to make it right before you put in the flax seeds. Because the flax seeds, the barbecue chip is made with flax seeds. You could use golden or you could use the brown. I like the golden. It's a little bit lighter texture, a little bit lighter taste, so I prefer to do the golden. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and we're going to turn it on, put it on low. Now, this liquid is exactly how I want it. Let me show you. Okay. You see how it's moving around like that in there? It's real wet. If it doesn't move that easily, then it's too thick. You need to add more water to that. Add some of the raisin soap water, which also has flavor in there. And also, one of the key things that I tell people, before you actually put your mixture in the dehydrator, you want to taste what it's going to be like before you put it in the dehydrator. Say you might want a little more cumin. You might want a little more chili powder. You might need a little more salt. You might want to put in something else. If you just follow the directions from the recipe explicitly, sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. It really depends on your taste. I was experimenting on doing crackers with a friend of mine, and I had been experimenting with raw crackers for a few months, and I just kept on experimenting and taking crackers over there. And one day when I went over there, he said, "You make the craziest crackers." And I said, if I ever do a business, I'm going to name myself the Crazy Cracker Lady. And that's how I came up, because people always ask me, how did you get that name, Crazy Crackers? That's, I said it was something that somebody thought that I just did some crazy stuff, and I absolutely did. So that's how it came out. Okay, now, this is looking real good. Man, the first time, this is great. Okay, now, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pour this in a bowl. Can you see the texture of this from there in our studio audience? There we go. Okay, now, this is perfect. But what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna show you how you're going to put them on the tray. This is the tray that's from the Excalibur dehydrator. The Excalibur is one of the best dehydrators on the market. I highly recommend it, because what happens with Excalibur is that there's trays that go in, and all the air that dries your crackers or cookies or whatever you're going to make comes from the back. So it evenly distributes the air and the warmth from the back on all the trays. Whereas there's other dehydrators that are round, and you have to rotate the trays. And I'm not about to be at home all day to make some crackers. What I generally do is, when I get home, or maybe in the morning, but I'll just say if I get home at night, I'll do some crackers, flip them over in the morning. When I come home from work the next, several hours later, my crackers are done. And they usually take about 16 to 18 hours. What you want to do is, and I usually use a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, but you guys were so piggies today, I'm going to show you that you can do it with this too. Okay? Can you see that there? I'm going to come around. I'm actually going to let Novella, and that's there's a song that was, what was that song? Something, Staggerly? Wasn't that one? I think it was. You guys are just too young for that.
Yeah.
Okay, that has to be it. Man, these look really pretty, even with this spoon. Okay, so I want you to see this, and then we're going to have one of you come up here so I can see how you do this too. Okay, Novaline, I want you to take this out there and let them see how that is. There you go, Novaline. That's so funny. I love it. Now, you see how easy that was? It was just a few ingredients. And what I like to do is really let people know that you don't have to go out buying all this fancy stuff. All this is tomato, carrots, celery, onion, garlic, simple. And to do a chip, you want to do it in the Vitamix, in a blender. For those of you who say, you know what, how can I get those books? I want to know where to get these books at. You can go to my website, which is crazycrackerlady.com with a K. And the first book here is called Absolute Biba's Crazy Crackers and Learn the Secret to a Good Cracker. That's the first book. The second book is Absolute Biba's Crazy Crackers, including more crazy crackers and cookies without nuts. And then this book here is Absolute Biba's Lip Smacking Favorites. It just came out a few months ago. And this book here has the pate that all of you ate up. It has the carrot corn salsa and several other dishes that are just wonderful. The cut the cheese cracker that always is a hit at anywhere I go. And the reason why I did this book is a lot of people were always saying, Biba, I really want to get your book, but I don't have a dehydrator. So I said, no more excuses. I said, now they can get a book if they still want to support, a raw foodist that's trying to, do something in the community. They can get this book here. So again, you can go to crazycrackerlady.com and you can get all 3 books there, or you can get your books here today. And just again, appreciate y'all coming out. And I'll say it again. Enjoy your crazy crackers.